In this video, I'll cover pointers that point to another pointer. Have you ever wondered if we can have a pointer that points to another pointer and what that would look like? Here I have an example of an integer that I initialize to 10. Then I declare a pointer to an int that points to the address of the variable x. Now in the next statement, I take the address of my pointer and I store it in another pointer, a pointer to a pointer. This is reflected by the two asterisks. Now at first this looks a little bit confusing, but it is actually straightforward if you think about it. The second asterisk is a pointer and is preceded by the data type that it's pointing to. In this case, the data type is an integer pointer, a pointer to an int. So this data type here really means a pointer to an int pointer, and the int pointer is int asterisk. Now pointers are always declared with a data type followed by an asterisk. That means a pointer to the data type. Here I have a couple of examples. A pointer to an int is int asterisk, a pointer to a char is a char asterisk, and so on. Now in this case, I have a pointer to an integer pointer, or a pointer to an integer. Now the question, what is the double pointer pointing to? If we dereference the double pointer just a single time, we go to the pointer, and that pointer, we can access the address, which is the address of x. If we dereference then a second time, we go to the variable x, and the value is 10. With that, let's take a look at an example. Here I have a small program. Again, I have x. In this case, I initialize it to 42. I get the address of x. I store it in an integer pointer named p. Then I take the address of p and I store it in double p. And double p is a double pointer. It's a pointer to an integer pointer. And then I have three printf statements. I output x. I output the value that's stored at the address where the single pointer is pointing to. And then I output the value that's stored at the address where double pointer is pointing to. And the double pointer, I dereference it twice. So let's run this. All of these output 42 because x is 42. The integer pointer points to x, so this is 42. And if I dereference the double pointer 2 times, it will also be x. Now what I can add here is I update the output to an address and I just dereference the double pointer a single time. So running this again. Now what address is this? This is the address of x, because the address of x is what I'm storing in p, and I store the address of p in the double pointer. So if I go to the address that's stored in the double pointer, this is the value that p holds. So I can do also this. P and just output p. If I run this again. Now let's go over this one more time. I have an integer that's initialized to 42. I get the address of that integer stored in p, and now I take the address of the pointer of p and I store that address in double p. Now here, when I say go to double p, I essentially say go to the address of p, then I'm at p, and if I were to say again go there, so a second dereference operation, go to this memory address, and at that location I have 42. I hope this gives you an idea how double pointers work in C or C++. If this is still confusing to you, play out with a few small and easy examples, such what I did up here. And also it might help if you draw it out on paper, where you have a box that's a pointer, you draw an arrow, what's pointing to. That can also help to wrap your head around these concepts. Thank you for watching.